Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Matt Breen.
And I'm Jessica Bowman. For decades, the FBI has helped local law enforcement agencies with crimes committed on area reservations.
And now that partnership is official with the creation of the Siouxland Safe Trails Task Force. This task force unites the FBI with other law enforcement agencies to help solve crimes like homicides, kidnappings, drug and human trafficking, and more. Several Nebraska agencies are part of that task force. That includes the Nebraska State Patrol and the Nebraska National Guard's County Drug Program. Local agencies, including sheriff's offices in Dakota, Thurston, and Knox counties, as well as the Bureau of Indian Affairs and local tribal police. The FBI says this task force serves as a force multiplier for work that's already being done by local agencies.
And we know in the Native American reservations that we have jurisdiction over here, we're going to do whatever we can. And this is a tool that we realize if we create this task force, we think we can really help the community. It'll give us an enhanced presence. It'll help us respond in an expedited fashion to crimes, help us bring more of an enterprise approach to criminal activity.
This task force is also a part of the Department of Justice's Operation Not Forgotten. It investigates cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women and children.
KTIV's Katie Koppel was at that news conference today. She has reaction to this news from the local Native community.
The creation of the Siouxland Safe Trails Task Force means more resources to solve major crimes on Native land and against the Native community. The task force includes a partnership with police departments and other agencies on local reservations in Nebraska. Following the announcement from the FBI on Thursday, I spoke with the Great Plains Action Society to get their thoughts on this task force and its work with the Native community in Siouxland.
I really hope that the task force does extend itself to the Iowa side when it comes to the tri-state region. We do have cases here that have not been solved yet. And these are cases that have been, from the 80s and continuing forward. And I really hope that our families do get the justice that is long overdue. I hope that all of these families that have been subjected to the epidemic, that they do find some kind of justice.
Rivers says it's encouraging to see the task force include many Native entities and law enforcement offices within it.
You're getting a perspective that is Indigenous and that needs to be at the forefront when it comes to our Native communities. We need to have people that are from our communities that understand the challenges, the dynamics, the culture behind everything. That is highly important to have everybody at the table and not just, having something that looks like it's inclusive.
Part of the task force includes Operation Not Forgotten with the Department of Justice, investigating cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women and children. Now, this task force is just one of 10 within the FBI to be part of that program.
And the FBI says this task force will help enhance investigations and authority to serve Native communities and also bring in additional resources locally from that local law enforcement perspective that they wouldn't otherwise have at its disposal. Now, in the short time Siouxland Safe Trails Task Force has been in operation, it's already solved several crimes this year. Now, here are a few numbers to look at. As of November 1st, the task force has helped make 70 arrests in 48 cases, 44 indictments in 39 different cases, 38 sentences in 34 cases, and 18 convictions. The task force has also helped locate 5 missing children the last 2 years. The FBI says this was all possible with the help of local law enforcement agencies working within the task force.